Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Namaste Village and the Namaste Experience. It is Friday.
Why do we not have sound?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Namaste Village and the Namaste Experience. It is Friday. I'm so happy that I can continue to offer these short jumping off points for Reverend Sheila and Vicky and anyone else who is sharing here. And I'm just so grateful to be able to share also the experience that we're having walking through Italy in the footsteps of St. Francis. I know that you are with us. And we'll be doing it again next year, so if you weren't able to make it this year, please join us next year. So, let me offer our new statement, but before we do that, let's do our opening prayer and meditation, our daily affirmation. Please join me. My soul has but one goal, to awaken to the truth that is forever true. My heart to awaken to the truth that is forever true. My heart has but one desire, to remember the passion of infinite bliss. My mind has but one focus, to embrace the reality that is forever real. I choose to awaken now to the infinite love that is my source. I give everything to this love, just as it has given everything to me. I am awake now. So here's the question. How is everyone today?
Awake and ready.
How feels everyone today?
Awake
Right.
and ready.
That's where we are, and that's all we need. We need to be ready for this. We need to be open. We need to allow so that we can dissolve into this infinite ocean of grace. So that being said, let's look at our spiritual cone, these very short, impactful statements that are meant to crack you open. If you just sit with them and drink them in a way that is not intellectual but experiential, they are meant to crack that egoic shell that believes that it's protecting you. Obviously, the ego believes that it has an important role to play in even your awakening. But of course, its only goal is to keep you away from that, to keep you asleep from your hidden divinity, for it to be fully revealed. So let me go ahead and read this statement now. Your attempt to comprehend the concepts of the rational mind has kept you from experiencing the irrational love of God. What does that mean? Let me say it one more time. Your attempt to comprehend the concepts of the rational mind has kept you from experiencing the irrational love of God. That's interesting, the irrational love of God. How could God's love be irrational? And the answer is simple. To the split mind, everything that is held within the mind of God is irrational, just as everything that is held within the ego is irrational to the divine mind, to the whole mind. And so an infinite source of love, unconditional love, never-ending wholeness is completely irrational to the intellectual mind or the ego. And it's when we realize that, it's the realization of how we have kept ourselves from that infinite love, that shell begins to break open, that we're finally able to be released from all of those illusions, all of those concepts, all of those strange ideas that we have held. Suddenly we see them for what they really are. They're nothing. Just as Joel Goldsmith always says, the nothing, to nothing eyes, that's right. To realize the nothingness to nothing eyes These are strange words, but they're meant to bring you to a certain experience where you no longer value nothing. You no longer hold on to that which has given you nothing, has offered you nothing, nothing but illusions, nothing but shadows. So once again, your attempt to comprehend the concepts of the rational mind has kept you from experiencing the irrational love of God. It's time for the love of God to become completely rational. And that can only come when we realize that the ego's concepts, they are what's completely irrational, because they believe that there is an alternative to this love. There is no alternative to all there is. So let that be the jumping off point. I love you all. Have a great session.
Oh, it did say Friday, huh? Yeah, it did. You have to go through this. Yep. It is Tuesday. Or something like that.
Are you ready, dear?
Oh, I am ready, darling. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So, Tim woke up really early this morning and he started to tell me this story that he was reading in the news about in Paris. Time out. Is this better?
Oh, yeah.
All righty. Tim woke up early this morning, like 4:30, I think, his usual. And when I got up, he had been reading the news. Oh boy, is right. So he's telling me about this story out of Paris. I guess there's a bed bug problem there right now. Huge bed bug problem. And I guess the concern is that they want to get it cleaned up before the Olympics this summer. Because when people come from far and wide, once they leave, they're going to carry them to all corners of the world. So I'm waking up and I'm going, So I guess they gave solutions of how to avoid it and take care of it when you travel and all that. So this has nothing to do with you. So I thought, okay, is this what my talk's going to be about this morning? I don't think so. So I want to start by talking about, have you heard the story, The Blind Men and the Elephant?
Yes, the three blind men, yes.
There's 6. Well, there's different stories out there. I have 6.
Right on.
Some of you have? How many have heard of that? A lot of you. Okay. Well, it bears repeating. I love that story. It's a Sufi story. And so 6 blind men went to find out the truth, and they came across an elephant, and the first blind man felt the side of the elephant, and he said it was broad and sturdy. He said, oh, the truth is it's a wall. And the second one arrived and was feeling the tusks, and they were smooth and sharp. He said, oh, the truth is it's a spear. And the third one was feeling the trunk, and it was squirming around the trunk, and he said, oh, it's a snake. So then the fourth one was feeling the elephant's knee and said, oh, that feels rough and gnarly like a tree. It's the tree. And the fifth one was feeling the ear. Oh, that feels like a fan. So that's the truth. And the sixth one felt the tail, and it was swinging, and he went, oh, the truth is it's a rope. So, well, each of them felt they had the truth, and all of them were right. They were also all very wrong, because each of them only had a part of the whole truth. So, truth. Let's talk about that for a minute, huh? Truth. The truth is your real truth. The real you. The real you is truth. That's the truth. And you knew that when you were a baby. You were innocent. You were, what all were you? You were, it's like pure perfection. You were a baby. You were divine. You knew that. You were authentic. You were real. There was no pretending, no mask. You trusted yourself. You loved yourself. Do you remember that? I don't. You were free to truly be. And I remember in the snow, we lived, our house was on a kind of a hill, and riding the sled down the hill and just falling off and giggling, and all the kids. And I remember in the summertime when it was grass, I would just lay down and roll down the hill, grass all over me, and I didn't care, climbing the trees. And what do you remember? Being truly free to be you when you were a baby. But that didn't last, did it? What happened? Wow. So there were opinions and stories that were told to you from others about who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to behave. Be a good little girl. Oh, that was me. Be quiet. Be a good little girl, which was a high bar to always aspire to, and I fell short so many times. And so that made me feel even worse about myself. So you relate? Yeah. Stories from others, opinions from others, stories from others. And they were not in your head already when you were a baby. They weren't in your head. And then something happened, and you began to be taught what you are, who you are, how you're supposed to act. And you began to lose your innocence. And you began to lose your ability to be real and to be genuine. So they began to download into our head what they what had been downloaded into their head by well-meaning parents for generations, because that's what they were taught. They meant no harm. There was no malice intended. They thought, okay, this is what you're supposed to believe because that's what they told me I was supposed to believe. So we developed these beliefs and opinions about ourselves. Now, I was thinking, I'm thinking about Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The Four Agreements. What was the first agreement?
Be impeccable with your word.
Be impeccable with your word. And the second one?
Recording in progress.
That's not the second one.
Don't take things personally. Oh, that's not always easy, is it? Third one, don't make assumptions. Well, you know what happens when we assume. I'm not going to say it, but. And the fourth one was do your best. Words to live by for sure, right? And then he and his son wrote another book, and this is the fifth agreement. Do you know what that one is? Be skeptical, but learn. Be skeptical, but learn to listen. Meaning all those lies that were told to you, be skeptical and learn to listen to what you're telling yourself, because you learned to do that to yourself better than anybody ever could have, right? So they're illusions, as James spoke of this morning. They're just illusions. They're lies. So, and then your ego took off running, didn't it? And that's when you became good, bad, beautiful, ugly,
Yeah.
guilty, crazy, powerful, weak, human, victim. Are those things really true?
No.
Okay, thank you. So that you're never good enough? Never enough, never good enough. You don't deserve to be happy. Are you telling yourself that sometimes? You're not worthy of love. Or some variation of those. And you agreed. You agreed to these opinions and beliefs that were downloaded into your head because these were the big people who were taking care of you. I mean, they did it through reward and punishment. So if you didn't go along with what they believed about yourself, then you got punished by either just they ignored you or said, no, that's not what we believe, or you know how they did that. Withdrawal of their love, where you felt abandonment or whatever. And so you began to obey by, oh, that didn't feel good, so I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to go along with this. So they didn't mean any harm by this, but that's how they do. And so you obeyed and you agreed to these beliefs and opinions about yourself because you were a little child trying to make it in a threatening, complicated world full of big people. And those big people were the ones telling you this. So of course you believed and you agreed and you obeyed. Your tyrant. You have a tyrant in your head sometimes. And that tyrant rules you sometimes. It's in charge. And it assures you that what you're believing is the way it's supposed to be. So, nobody judges you more than you. And you try to get away from yourself, don't you? You run away, and there you are. Right? So if you can, imagine your own opinions and beliefs about yourself and others, and the opinions and beliefs of others as a big hurricane running around in your head. Yikes! Yikes. That's no good. So how do we regain our innocence? How do we do that? Our beautiful innocence. Our true self. Because that was all lies. That was all illusions that the world told you. So you are an artist. Did you know that? You are an artist. You create the story of your life. So if you create the story of your life, you do that through words on your paintbrush. On your life canvas. You paint your life canvas. And how you create your life story depends on how you put those symbols together on your paintbrush. So if you see yourself as an artist, if you can, and if you want to be better, yes, of course. Can you see that your life is your own creation? It can be your own creation. Now that you're all grown-ups, you are, right? Can be your own creation. Then why not create the most beautiful life for you? The most beautiful canvas with your paintbrush for you. Use the words on your paintbrush or the symbols to create a most beautiful life of who you really are. The truth about you. So, we need to unlearn, don't we? And it's a long, arduous process. Sometimes it takes a while. We need to not believe those lies, so going through a process of catching them. I think I've told you this one before about when you're weeding a garden, and you know when the weeds are young, they're easy to pull out. But when they get older and established, they're harder to pull out. So catching the thoughts and the beliefs and opinions that are running through your head when they're young, catch them early and pull them out early when it's easier before they get established in there. So every thought that comes to you, don't believe every thought that comes in your head. Don't believe the lies. cut through that noise. Just cut right through it to what you really want on your canvas and to what you really need. You need to be loved. Need hugs. Need connection with others. Need to belong. We belong here, don't we? This is our niche. This is where we belong. You need confidence in yourself. And you need competence, a sense of your own competence. You need financial security, or at least enough to get by. You need to feel safe physically. You need to feel safe emotionally. You need trust. Do you need to be understood? Sometimes. Sometimes I need to be, for my true intentions, to be understood, to be heard, so that you think this is what my intention was, and no, please no, it wasn't that at all. So in that sense, to be understood, my true intentions, I meant not harm. Or clarity, sometimes we need clarity. Like things get so in that thunderstorm about what we've been told, we get so unclear, so sometimes we need clarity. And I think sometimes, bottom line, we need to matter. I matter. I matter. I matter. You matter. You do. So in a challenging world, we've got this task ahead of us, right? We can do it. You can do it. So the mind is a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. So you can plant flowers, or you can plant weeds. So let's all plant flowers and do a new canvas of our life with our paintbrush, catching those thoughts and just creating a beautiful life story, not the one we've been told that was a lie. Yeah? So let's talk about truth about who we really are and not those bed bugs. Oh, I shouldn't leave you with that thought. Okay, I want to, before I ask Vicki for her opinions, I just wanted to be sure that you remember that Saturday, James is heading for Israel to do that worldwide peace meditation with tons of people who are gathering. And what we can do is tune in or into our own head and meditate on Saturday at noon, New York time, Saturday, October 14th, noon, New York time.
How about we meet here at 10 o'clock?
You want to meet here at 10 o'clock? It would be 10
How
o'clock.
about 9:45, just so we're all ready for it?
Okay, so it'll be noon New York time for those of you on Zoom who are over in that neck of the woods. For here in Ahiheek, it'll be 10 o'clock, so we're going to meet here at 9:45, okay? And then in California, it'll be 9 o'clock, so we'll be joining you for that. Okay, just a reminder. Peace in Israel. All right, Vicki, what you got?
Good morning, Sheila. I have a question first. Are you going to open the Zoom room to all of us in Zoom land to join with you there on Saturday, noon Eastern time? Do you want to do that, you guys?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, because a lot of our little groups are going to meet in smaller little Zoom, so it'd be great to do it here. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for all those examples of, we've been doing inside out thinking. We've been living from the outside, and this whole great awakening that we're coming into now, here we are, is learning how to live from the inside out. not the outside in. And that's kind of what you were talking about, taking opinions of others and learning to see ourselves from other perspectives rather than see ourselves from the inside, from the seat of our soul, from love. That's what this great awakening is that we're in now. We're in a time where every tradition, all of them, are rising in awareness that the stories of time and space aren't what they seem to be. There doesn't have to be agreement that, oh, it's an illusion or it's a projection or it's this or that. None of that matters. What James was saying this morning, even though it was a repeat, was that we don't need our rational understanding to put ourselves in the realm of love, to live at the effect of love. Love is an inside job. And what this great awakening is learning to dispel the appearances, the belief in those appearances as having value, and to reestablish our heart and our soul as what is truly valuable by our experience. That's what the Namaste experience is, living from our hearts, knowing that our hearts are our very core and center of love, and that love is our divinity. It's all there together. Within is our consciousness, our awareness, our presence, the love that we are, recognizing ourselves as part of everything, learning how to come in to live in that all the time. It's not easy because the world is hypnotized to believe that the outer reality of time and space has value and determines us. So it takes courage, and that's what we do every day for ourselves and each other. We hold each other's hands. We help each other have the courage to live from our heart, from the love that we know in our hearts. That's the experience, that experience of love. There's a wonderful sister named Mary Lenahan who offers Pause for Inspiration.
Uh-oh, we muted her too.
She offers okay, we're good? So Mary offers a wonderful example in practice, and you can look her up, pauseforoinspiration.com, and you can get a daily little clip from her. And what she does is, it's a way of accessing the spirit, the love in our hearts, the Holy Spirit, rather than looking outside first. This is one of the ways we learn to live from the inside out, from love, teaching us, guiding us, leading us, rather than being victims dependent on outside information. So pausing a moment, rather than like, the 4 agreements, taking whatever anybody says, taking it personally, deciding it's this, making assumptions, all that. No more of that. We look at it. We look at the war. There's a war going on right now in the Middle East. We look at it, and rather than this one's right and this one's wrong and this should be and that should be, we pause. That's what's happening Saturday. We pause. But this is what's happening to us, hopefully every day and every minute of the day. We don't take those outside appearances as fact anymore. We pause and we go inside and say, what is this? What does this mean? How should I be with this? What do I have to give? What would love say about this? And love will always give of itself. And that's what we are, instruments of peace, instruments of love. We have to give of the love that is rising in our whole being, and it is rising. And as we join together, it rises stronger and quicker. And because it's not easy to break the belief in the world of time and space, it's a big deal. And 2 or more are gathered in the name of Christ's light can break that tradition down into a realization of what is true, a true kingdom of happiness, a kingdom where there's no opposite. But we have to give of that. That means we have to give love in our speech, in our thinking, in our actions. And when we see something like a war, instead of going into the discussion, oh, this or that, or right or wrong, we go into the experience of, let me extend the truth, that appearances are not who we are. who our brothers are. But it is a great call for help. It's a call for love. Let me be the giver of that love. All of us, we're here to give of what we truly are, not the appearances that we've taken on. We've come to give of the truth of our souls. We are born, birthed, and we exist in love. When we access that love, we are responders. We are the first responders of love to everything. And right now, the world is very tired and very weary of all the judgments it's put itself through. And we are called to be in active duty, active service to the service of love. Recognize that everyone does their best with their understanding. Recognizing some realize who they are and some do not. Some identify still as bodies, and many are coming to realize that we are souls and that who we are is the light of the world. And that the way we access is by loving ourselves, loving each other, and spending our lives giving of that love, celebrating that love in the face of every experience. That's what it means to leave not your place on high. We mustn't leave the high watch of vision that says we belong to a loving God. We are his children. This scene that we're looking at could not be what it appears to be. That's enough. We've been all given a gift of inspiration. There's no one that doesn't have it. That is the whole Namaste experience, whether you call it the voice for God, the Holy Spirit, the altar of truth, your heart. It is the voice for love, and it's our divinity speaking to us. Let's listen. What Mary is saying, Mary Lenahan with Pause for Inspiration, is so helpful. Wherever you are, pause. Don't engage in the external battle. Step back, pause, and let your heart speak. Let your heart and listen. That's what we're all doing, and we're helping each other do it. The help that we give one another has no measure, because it's what James was saying, it's not understandable to a thinking ego mind. That mind was made to believe in division and lack. The love in us is created in wholeness, to give of its wholeness, and not to be fooled by appearances of devastation. What seems to be in the external world has been our own thinking projected out, our own fear and guilt of having left the home of love in ourselves. And now we're rising in this great awakening to no longer look and believe in those pictures of guilt for ourselves or our brothers, and realize that everything is cleansed and healed and whole as we love. But we must be the givers of that love. We are the givers of that love. We're in our speech, in our thinking, in our actions, when we're alone or when we're gathered. That every word come with kindness, like we were talking about last week. That kindness rule our everyday life. Kindness is nothing but an expression of love. If we live from the inside out and not the outside in, we are truly the bringers of peace, of salvation, of happiness in this world where we are, the bringers of what is a heaven of unity and safety and purity on earth as it is in heaven every moment, not later, not when we learn how to heal, not when we learn to let go of things, always right now. It's not later, it has to be with all of us in this room right now. We join in love. The other great practice, and James started the week off with Joel Goldsmith, is the practice of silence. If we want to listen to our hearts, we can't be busy using the vocabulary and all the thinking that has come with the thinking against love. All of our thinking mind is the mind of separation, feeling separate from God. We have to put that down and take our place again as children of God, children who want to listen to a loving Father, a loving Creator. But we can't listen and chatter at the same time. So we come and we lay our thoughts down, we chatter as much as we want and say, but here I am, and I'm listening. How would you have me be? What would you have me say and do? That silence, that space for silence, like the pause, is a space of receiving. And what are we receiving? Nothing but the truth of who we are. we're finally letting it in. We're letting it fill us up. I'm at a retreat center today because we're doing a retreat today in Boston, the Boston area, with a group that we're going to be watching. I told you all, The Chosen, which is another way of learning to focus on the love of God. So this is a wonderful experience for me because it's fun and it's a way to experience love by sharing a platform together that represents love. So whatever platforms we find ourselves in, use them to bring out the natural love that we are. We're all naturally loving. It's all that we ever naturally were. But silence, pausing, helps us open up to that inner experience and let that inner experience then fill our thinking mind, then use our bodies to give of ourselves, to give of words of comfort and kindness, and love each other. Oh, here's our first guest. Hi, Lynn. Hi, honey. You can say hello. Anyway, so we're going to start here in a little bit. This is Linda. Hi, honey. Anyway, we're living from the inside out, guys, and it's simpler than we've ever made it. It can be and is simpler. Just listen for love. If love isn't coming through, just wait a minute. Be quiet a moment. That's all. Step back, open to silence. Learn to be abiding and gazing rather than jumping in and fixing and solving. So, okay, Sheila, thank you very much. And we're going to go in and maybe start this day here. Love you all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And this is where we go. Amen. 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 Y punto. Bye, everybody. Have a great one.
Bye, everybody.
Love
See
you all.
tomorrow. I love you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love to.
I'm into this.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
everyone.
I love you.
Namaste. Thank you.
Love you all. I can't